Find out how to price your workshops and trainings so it funds your growth. I've got proof. You're not just doing workshops to fund your lunch and your travel expenses. You're not just doing your training so that it just covers everything and you don't get paid. I've got proof today that's going to show you exactly what you need to focus on so you start getting paid and you don't guess your pricing anymore. I'm covering the logical side and the emotional side. On the logical side, we have expenses. I've talked a lot about those. Make sure you know exactly what you're spending money on. Don't forget to include the fixed costs to run your business. Just simple things like cell phones and internet and host providers and things of that nature that sometimes we forget about. Make sure that you know what your bottom baseline per month cost is to run this business so that you can add it to the pricing that you're going to add on top of the variable expenses, which are the expenses that you need for that specific workshop or training. Don't forget this part. With the emotional side, we have to quit selling the day, the workshop, and we have to sell the results and what they get after the workshop's over and they start using what you teach. When you can connect that, you understand that we are here to improve, increase something. And the reason we buy something is to either increase or to improve. I want to increase the amount of something that I have. I want to increase the level of housing that I have, so I buy a better house. I want to increase the type of car that I drive, so I buy a new car. I want to improve things about me, so I get training. I want to improve my results and outcomes, so I buy training or workshops like you offer. Don't forget this piece. We talk too much about the day. We don't talk enough about the value and the benefits that they get. That's what they're buying. They're not buying the day. They're only doing the day so that they can get those benefits. Don't forget, if you're working with companies, they already have training budgets that you just need to convince them to spend it on you. When they have to think about it, we haven't talked enough about the value. When you're selling workshops to individuals, they have something in mind. They're already open to spending some money. It may not be the level or the price that you come up with. So we have to explain what the value is to these people so they understand that it's worth the investment. If I know I can invest $1,000 and I'm going to get the knowledge and experience that's going to make me $5,000 or $10,000 in a short period of time, it's really not that difficult to make the decision as long as I'm convinced logically and emotionally, so we can bridge that gap, that what I'm about to invest in is going to pay me a dividend. People are looking to increase and improve. We have to talk about that. Don't forget. So remember, when you're pricing, you have your baseline number. That's the logical side. You know you need to charge a certain amount just to break even. That doesn't include the time involved for you and in your teaching or training or the team that you bring in to help facilitate it. Make sure that you factor all your concrete costs, all the expenses, any copies, any forms, any giveaways, anything that you're offering. Make sure that you know those expenses up front. A lot of those are going to be variable based on the workshop or the training that you're providing at that time. The other side of it is your pay, your team's pay. All of that has to be factored in. Now, when you're in full boat training, you're the keynote, basically. You're kind of giving that keynote presentation in a workshop or in a training. So what you have to do is you have to factor in how much time is involved, what is that time worth? And then you have to add that up, plus your team's pay. And don't forget, for you, you have to pay taxes on your money. Why not include that in your fee so that most of it gets covered? And if you say you want to make $5,000 for the day, you actually make $5,000, right? You just add 22% more to that, or 25%, depending on your tax rate. So don't forget to factor in all of these costs. And what I'm going to do for you, because a lot of people get stuck, especially speakers, when you're transitioning from just speaking to now you're creating a workshop or a training program or a course and you don't know what to charge. It's not uncommon. This is unexplored territory, right? So what we have to do is we have to figure out what's our bottom line, baseline, minimum number that we have to bring in. And then we have to factor how many people we're going to have in this workshop or this training. When you're first starting out, I would keep those numbers. If you say 50, I would keep it a little bit lower than that. If you say 20, I would keep it slightly lower than that. If you can't get 15 to 20 people in a workshop, you need help on the marketing side. You don't need help on the delivery side. You already know your stuff. Make sure that you know the marketing well, but make sure that you factor in your expenses so that you can do some marketing, so that you can hire the team that actually will put this stuff in place more than you trying to do everything yourself. So that's going to take some factoring in. And the best place you can start is get an audit. Know where you're at right now. Let's figure out where the gaps are so that you can have at least a starting point game plan in what you need to figure out, what you need to correct, or what you need to put in place. What I'm going to offer you today is proof that you can find out where that is pretty quickly. And I'm giving you a free opportunity to fill out an audit. I'll submit a Loom video. My team goes through the audit. They send me the notes. I tell you where the gaps are in the Loom video. And if I feel that you could use a little bit more help, I'll suggest it. And I'll suggest what you could do, or we could hop on a call if that's what your preference is. So there's no pressure. There's nothing, but you need to figure out where you're at so that you know what you can start charging. Because when somebody says, you say, hey, I created a workshop, well, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's your rate? What do you charge? And you can't just keep guessing. Sometimes that works, but wouldn't you rather know formulaically? Wouldn't you rather figure out exactly what you need to charge so that you know, I need to charge X amount if I have this amount of people? And let's just base it real simple numbers now. Let's say your expenses and everything else is $5,000 to put this workshop on. That includes your pay, right? And you know you can get at least 10 people. So if we do simple math, that's $500 a person. Here's the magic. When you actually figure it out and you start getting paid what you're really worth, what if you got 15 people? Those extra 5 at 500, where's that money go? Some to expenses, very little, probably 10% or less. The rest of the money goes into you making more money, more income. So the beauty of doing a pricing formula lets you know what your price is and how many people you need to make this thing work. And then anything above that number is going to be bonus for you. When we first start out, the best place to do is go conservative with your number a little bit. I'm not saying think you're going to get less people, but if you think 50, I might base it on 40, my expenses. That way, when I get 40 people, I'm at break even, and everything above that is going to be more income in my pocket. It's going to allow me to expand my value, my benefit, bring in better team, maybe better quality, handouts, etc. So factor your prices in well. Understand that you can price a workshop, you can price a training easily when you know your bottom line number and what you need to start with to charge. I hope that this helped you. Check out the link below. There's the audit there. Take the audit. The least you get is a Loom video. You don't even have to respond. If you're not looking to respond or you're thinking that you're going to be sold, don't respond to it, because I'm not here to force anybody. But if you're open to it and you're thinking, yeah, this person can help me, then by all means come in. I know I can help you, but I'm not here to help everybody. And I know that you understand that. And I mean that with all the highest regard for you. Congratulations on where you're at. Thank you for watching this video. Click that link below.